Chapter 20, Nikki Marshall. Mom and Dad, I'm alive. I'm at the mall. Come find me. I love you. Forever and always. XOXO. Heart, Nikki. I stick the notepad back on the fridge. Hopefully my parents will come here and find the note. If there's one place they will always look if they come back here, it would be the fridge. We always leave notes on the fridge to let each other know things. I know on some level that I shouldn't leave a note for them. As Sean said, we don't want to get the wrong people finding out where we are, but I can't help it. Grabbing my luggage and backpack, I follow after everyone else. They're already packed up in the truck, ready to go. Sean jumps out to help me toss the luggage back into the back. I think for a moment before deciding to throw my backpack back there too. There isn't enough room in the cab for all of us and my bag comfortably. I crawl into the back and buckle up. I now know how Steph could react the way she did. I want to stay here, even for just a bit longer. We could pull away and my parents could walk through the door 5 minutes later, a near miss with possible devastating consequences. I watch the house as Brad starts the engine and pulls away until my house is no longer in view. My eyes tear up and a few manage to fall down my cheek. I wipe the wetness away, but I can't wipe away the feeling that I may never see my parents again. Whether they are alive or not, I may never see them again. I decide once and for all that my parents are alive and out there somewhere. So are the rest of my family and my friends. Everyone I know is out there somewhere. They're alive unless someone can prove that they are dead. I turn back around in my seat and let Brad take us back in deafening silence. Each person is, alone with their silence, mourning our losses. There's no doubt this trip has changed a lot. The world didn't end and we're still alive. This is an invasion, a war zone. We don't know how long it's going to last. Rescue isn't going to appear on the horizon in tanks and planes. Brad pulls into Bourbon Street entrance. He parks where the taxis usually sit. Immediately, Gary comes out to greet us. As soon as I'm clear of the truck, he grabs me in for a big hug. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're all okay. You'll need to tell me all about it. Gary is smiling from ear to ear. I open my mouth to try to say anything. Sean beats me to it. We should probably get everything to the boat. Did anyone notice we were gone? No one noticed, Gary says. That's good. Sean hands Gary my backpack, then the smaller bag from Steph's house. Sean hands the rest of us our bags. They follow right behind Gary back into the mall. It's dark in here. Brad is the last to come in. He sets down one bag to lock the door behind him. He does the same when he gets to the second set of doors. Quietly, we all follow Gary down the Bourbon Street and around the corner towards the boat. When the water park glass separation can be seen, I try to see if anyone can see us. I reason since I can't see anyone, they can't see us either. I can't remember if I can see through the glass from the inside of the pool area. We make it back to the boat without any trouble. Gary waits for us to put down our bags and sits comfortably at a table. Sean and Brad sit on either side of me. Steph is settled on Brad's lap. So what is it like out there? No one wants to talk. We just look back and forth between each other. No one wants to be the one to burst the ignorance bubble. I finally say it. It looks like the end of the world out there. There's no one out there anymore. There's not going to be any rescue anytime soon. Don't be so depressing. Matt's voice surprises us all. We just need to have a good time until the army rescues us. It won't be too long. I'm sure you're just exaggerating. Just grab a drink and party with us. Matt and a few others make it onto the boat. I stand up and walk closer to him. So I'm exaggerating what exactly? You didn't go out there. You didn't see what we saw. It looks like a bomb went off everywhere. Buildings are on fire. Cars are flipped. Bodies and blood everywhere. Some of our families are dead. I try to defend myself. If it's the end of the world, what did you expect? I'm sorry your families are dead, but you're the ones who wanted to go out and find out for sure. It's your fault. Just stay in here going forward, and everything will be okay. He has a very small view of what's happening. No, it's not. You didn't see what we saw. We need to start thinking about survival, not partying all the time. I try to break through his narrow thoughts. Oh, don't be so serious. Matt is being ridiculous. I'm sure he's still drunk. That may have something to do with it. It could just be his personality. Maybe he's already given up on trying to live and is just trying to drown himself numb until he dies. We need to start preparing. Figure out how much food we have and how long we can stretch it. It's going to get cold soon. We need to gather blankets and coats to stay warm. Gary puts his 2 cents worth in. I'm happy someone is finally trying to help me out. Relax, old man. We're not going to be here long enough to even think about running out of food. But if it makes you feel better, you can do whatever the hell you want. We're going to have fun. Matt leaves with a couple of people. This isn't the last time this conversation will come up, I fear. I don't have anything to say back to Matt. There's nothing I can say to get it across to him that this is serious. Nothing I can say will force him to want to try to survive. Maybe once the booze runs out, they'll figure it out in sobriety. I turn back around, thinking that I'll just sit back down at the table, but everyone's looking at me. They look like they're expecting me to say something. So, now what? Sooner or later, they'll figure it out. Everyone is going to deal with this differently. Besides, they didn't see what we saw out there, and they certainly aren't going to stick around long enough to discuss things with. We need to get a plan for the long run. They'll come around eventually. I go back to sit where I had been before Matt's interruption and continue. Most everyone goes back to their spots. Stephanie sits beside Brad. We brought things from our houses that might help us, more comforts from home, so... I lose my thought. I don't know where to continue. Gary clears his throat and gains everyone's attention. I think we need to prepare if we have to leave suddenly as well. It could just be luck that they haven't really attacked us yet. He gets us back on track. They could have thought that there wouldn't be many people here yet. Why attack a nearly empty building? Sean says. That's just it too. We didn't have any trouble out there. There's the devastation, but otherwise everything is a ghost town. It was eerie, I add. Are you suggesting those things are intellectually smart? Brad pipes in against Sean. Of course, you saw it the way it cornered us in the room and waited until we opened the door, Sean says. Gary looks a bit excited at the new discovery. Predator smart and actual intelligence is something entirely different. What Brad says makes sense. Sean also makes sense. We were all here before the mall should have been open. What I want to know is, where were they hiding? Obviously, they all had to come from somewhere. And what exactly do they want? We shouldn't waste our time with questions that we can't answer. What I want to know is how to kill them. As he said, they haven't attacked here yet, but it's only a matter of time. It's gotta be like the horror movies, right? They're straight out of the movies. We're going to need silver bullets, stakes, and garlic, Peter says. What do we do with any that come here for shelter, those that don't want to harm us? Sean asked a question that I hadn't considered. I hadn't considered it because we were working on a theory that they were ravenous beasts intent on killing us, not that they were intelligent beings with a choice. Don't be stupid, Brad ridicules Sean. I'm serious. What if they're like humans? What if there's some good ones and some bad ones? Sean continues his thought. I decide to help Sean out on the chance that he's right. He's right. First, we should make sure they aren't going to kill us. Then we offer shelter. Sean looks thankful to me, but Brad gets furious. Hell no. They're all out to get us. I'm not letting anyone get close enough to find out if they're good or bad. You saw it out there. They're all bad, or else some of them would have been fighting with us. If we're suggesting they have intelligence like humans, then you also have to accept that there could be some good and bad supernatural beings. The good ones could just be as scared as you are. They could just be hiding because the supernaturals are killing humans are also trying to kill the good supernatural beings too, Sean argues. Are you taking their side? Brad stands up from his seat. Sean doesn't look like Brad's intimidation is fazing him. I do wish he'd stop egging Brad on. We could have ended this conversation by now and moved on, figuring it out if the situation happened. Sean debates internally for a moment before he frowns and takes in a deep breath. I'm an elf. I'm one of the good guys. Brad lunges toward him. I don't know if he forgot I was in the way or what, but I act like a barrier between them. Stop, Brad! I push hard, knocking him off balance and onto the floor of the boat. Gary grabs onto Brad and holds him in place. Brad's attack forces me to pick sides through my uncertainty of the... Brad's attack forces me to pick sides through my uncertainty of the confession. Sean is your best friend. You've known him for 4 years and he's never hurt any of us, so relax and hear him out. My interest is piqued. He doesn't look like an elf. He looks human, like Sean. Maybe elves look exactly like humans. I give Sean the platform to say his piece, eyeing him up and down with my new knowledge. There's nothing abnormal about him. No large pointy ears, though he does have that slight point. Something he explained was an abnormality caused by exclusively side sleeping as a baby. The myths and legends are true somewhat. Movie monsters are real, but we're not all mindless and bloodthirsty. We're people too. Some got angry and decided to attack. It's a revolution based on the oppression thousands of years in the making. But they're going about it wrong. They didn't think humans would accept our without it going bad for us, so they attacked. Sean says, is it just here? How did no one know about you people? How many of them are out there? Gary asks his rounds of questions. Sean puts his hand up to stop him. The war is all over the world. Sean begins to explain everything. There was a treaty made in the 6th century for supernatural beings to go into hiding. Humans were gaining numbers, we got overtaken. Since the treaty, we've all hidden, some in plain sight. Any gaps in human records are little uprising. Well, most of history is written wrong either way. But with the technology nowadays, this one is not going to be hidden. He shakes his head at the confusing turn in he shakes his head at the confusing turning in his thoughts. Jumbled mess spewing out in simplified information. You'd be surprised at how many humans are actually supernatural beings in disguise. Ones that can blend in natural, or those who wear makeup and get surgery to look human. So, infiltration, then destroy. Brad's body gets tense. I get ready to interfere if he decides to attack Sean again. No, Sean is offended. We were just living our lives as best as we were allowed. Not all of us wanted it that way. Like I said, just like humans, there are good ones and bad ones. The bad ones are giving the rest of us a bad name. The rest of us were perfectly fine living the way that we had been. We're just as much the victims of this as you are. If you hadn't noticed, I've been by your side this whole time. My family is dead too. My friends are dead too. That finally seems to shut Brad up. His body loses its tension. Gary releases his grip but stays cautious. Brad slowly turns around and walks off the boat. I'm torn between going after him and letting him go. He could do something really stupid, or he could be going to clear his head. I expect Stephanie to go after him, but she doesn't. She looks torn between staying with us and supporting her boyfriend. Let him go. He's just going to calm down and he'll see. What are we going to do next? Sean tries to get us back to what we were originally talking about. I want to continue talking about him. He drops that he's an elf and then just wants to continue talking about other things. I'll respect that for now. Eventually my curiosity is going to require some questions answered, but I don't think he was prepared to let a secret out like that. I'll give him some time, but I don't know how I feel about it yet, and I don't want to overreact. I try to stuff down the betrayal because I know it's not reasonable. If elves were a secret to the world, then of course he wouldn't tell me. But how much did he know about the war? Could he have prepared us and had us safe at home with our families? This doesn't change anything. We survive. That's it. We do what we can to survive and make it through this alive, all of us. We need water, food, warmth, and anything else to help us survive. This isn't temporary. We need to survive a long time. We're going to need to survive the winter, I finalize. I look Sean in the eyes. Sean's never hurt any of us, so there isn't any reason not to trust what he says, not to trust him. He's still the same person I know and love and trust. He's just also an elf, I remind myself. I nod, tighten my smile briefly. He smiles in return. We're good.